Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna probably do a lot of butt ripping in this video. I'm gonna be very blunt and just honest and just what I see and what I feel here. And this is gonna be a let's talk about video about the Cincinnati JR Cyclones. They are a team in the USPHL, which is like guys that are looking at offers for like colleges and stuff. It's like, I guess you can still call it like a professional league, but it's like very, very low tier. Like these guys want to move up. Like it's a strict development league. Nobody's goal is to be ending up in this league. So I'm going to be very, very blunt about what I'm seeing, and I'm going to be very, just maybe mean at times with how I put things. And I'm sorry if anyone sees this as associated with the team and feels like I'm being too harsh, or if I like go too far on something, or if I go to like a length and say something that maybe rattles a little bit of a feather or two, just to like, I'm sorry if you guys like feel like this is too much, but I'm gonna talk about everything here real. And I have never played, I've never like done anything like that, but I like to think I have really good judgment on players, and honestly am a pretty good scout. If anyone wants a scout, hit me up. I'm listening to offers, but this is just what I'm seeing, and from like maybe a scout's kind of point of view type thing. So anything I'm saying here, it probably can be fixed, and anything I'm saying here, it's coming from a good place, and it's coming from a place of I'm saying this so that hopefully the person, if they see this, can get their act together on what I'm saying about them, or like fix a certain part of their game that maybe makes them less appealing to scouts. And hopefully also I get the team's name out there, because not a lot of people know about the JR Cyclones. They play in the same arena as the regular Cyclones, which is the Heritage Bank Center. Tickets are only about $10 a ticket, so that's about $10 per person. It's only about $30 if you have 3 people. It's a nice little time. Team would really appreciate your support. You can even reach out to their coach and offer to volunteer. They're always looking for volunteers. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the video. So let's go by individual player here. And I'm going to start with probably one of the more controversial and blunt and harsher people that I'm going to be talking about today, and that is number 14 defenseman Eli Prather. This dude, let's just get this part out of the way. He kind of has an attitude about him, and it's an undeserved attitude. Like, when you're just sitting, I volunteered, and he, for about 6 minutes of a total of the game, it wasn't all at once or anything, but like throughout those 6 minutes I had spent with him in the penalty box, like he just seems to give up the vibe that he was like closed off and like didn't want to be here, and was giving off the vibe of he had an attitude that he was better than everybody else, an attitude that he should be an upper league, or he should have an offer already, and like he's a better player than anybody else. And he just like had that kind of vibe coming from him. And from a scout's point of view, that attitude is a total turn off. Like, I'm just a fan, and like he's kind of like being rude about how he says things. We didn't really talk much, but like I would say something to him and he would reply, or I would say something and maybe he'd give a like little bit of a rude reply, but he just seems to have an attitude about him, and a lot of scouts do not like that. A lot of scouts will see that as a potential locker room cancer person, and that is a giant red flag of a person that is a locker room cancer. I am by no means saying Prather is a locker room cancer, but if he wants to go on and play at the next level, that attitude first and foremost has to be fixed. I read people pretty well, just even over text. over like maybe 1 or 2 conversations, I can get an entire vibe of somebody, and 96% of the time, it's 100% correct about them. I am very good at reading people. So I trust my instincts and I trust my gut on saying he has this attitude and that needs to be fixed. And he isn't even the best player out there. He's one of the weaker guys on the defense. He takes a lot of penalties, has a lot of undisciplined play about him. I think he has a little bit of potential, but I think for first and foremost, he has to stay out of the box and he has to improve that attitude to even get a look from scouts. Next, okay, I'm done with him. Let's move on to the next player. This is going to be one of their captains, number 22, Jordan Winrod. Now, Winrod, great guy. I've talked to him. Amazing guy. I've talked to him in a box as well as I've texted him on Instagram a couple times too. He's very, very cool, very, very nice, and very knowledgeable about what he's talking about too. And he's just a great guy all around. He has a lot of speed. He's a right-handed guy that mainly plays on the left wing side, so he's a forward. He's a little bit of a smaller guy, I would say too. He's a little bit undersized. But he seems like a really great guy. I can't say anything specifically about his leadership because I haven't seen that part in person. I only am like talking about like what I've seen in person when I'm talking about that kind of stuff. But great guy. Just he gets breakaways at times, and he kind of struggles to capitalize on them. Like he got a breakaway earlier today, and he scored on the backhand, but that is 1 out of 5 or 6 breakaways I've seen him have in the last 2 games, and I feel like he needs to be a bit better on the breakaways. And I'm not trying to be hard on him because breakaways, okay, a lot of eyes on you. And the first game was against the Metro Jets, class of the league. I'm not going to hold the breakaway thing against him, but at the same time, I'm looking for stuff, and I'm scouting this guy, and I'm not really seeing that much that needs to be fixed other than just the breakaways. He's, I wouldn't say always in the right place at the right time, but, he's almost always in position, and I think that's one of the things he does really well. He's a very, very successful and good two-way forward. I cannot stress enough how great of a two-way game this guy plays. Now let's move on to the next player. Alex Atchison. He was number 2. And I think he plays both forward and defense, but I've seen him mainly as playing a forward. Haven't really seen him that much on defense. Sorry, I'm also getting over a flu right now, so there's a few coughs every now and then. But Atchison is a guy I am very, very impressed by. I really like him. I really think he has the tools to be successful at the next level. He is finishing his checks. He's forechecking well. He lays the body on really well. And I love this guy because he's a really great grinder. I wouldn't say he's a grinder. I'd say more of a power forward type. Doesn't take too many shots. He mainly passes it, doesn't possess the puck, but off the puck is where his skills really shine. And I think that he also is very great on the penalty kill. I don't think he'll be very great if you put him on the power play, but if you need a guy that's hardworking, if you need a guy that'll go right in there and grind every single time, he is your guy. Alex Atchison is the probably hardest working forward on that team that I think. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with him. Moving on to the next player. It's going to be, I think they're brothers, I'm not quite sure, but goaltender number 1, Jaden Atchison. Dude's only 16. He's playing at this level. These guys are 3 years older than him, and he's still playing. That on its own is very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. I think he still needs a few more years of development. He's a great guy. I've talked to him and texted with him. He's a great guy. Can't say enough of how nice and sweet this guy is. but he definitely struggles at times with rebound control. He'll just like leave a puck sitting right there, a juicy rebound for the team. His recovery maybe could be worked on too. He does. He's really great with his pads. His 5-hole seems to be pretty closed off. I've seen a couple goals. I think I saw one goal trickle in through the 5-hole. And that stuff. But he also loses sight of the puck a few times. So maybe some puck tracking could be in his future work too. But this guy definitely has the tools if he can keep developing and keep working. He's 16, so he's probably not going to get all that much playing time, especially with this team, because this team has a lot of close games. And if not a close game, they're getting blown out. But Atchison, I think, is a decent enough goaltender to where you can say that in a few years he will be ready for an offer. Okay, that's it for him. Let's move on to the next player. That is going to be, what's his number? I'm trying to think of his number right now. What's his number? I'm trying to think of his number. Number 9. I think it's like Kaleka or something. I don't know how to say his first name. I'm sorry, Kaleka, if you're watching. But, oh my God. This guy is so smooth at the puck. He has a lot of great handles. His shot is pretty decent too, but you don't see him shooting it a lot. But his dangles, man, they are filthy. His hands are great, man. He's also a great offensive weapon to have. You can put him on your power play. I've also seen him a couple times on the PK, though I don't think he profiles all that well on the PK. I think he profiles better on your power play. And this dude is a great setup man, great playmaker. He can be a little too flashy at times. Like, he'll try and move, and maybe it won't work. But this guy is definitely somebody to keep the eyes on if you are a scout. Have your eyes on this kid. He is going to go places. I think that he has probably American Hockey League potential. I don't think he gets to the NHL, but I think he has the hands to compete with the AHL guys if he keeps developing like he is. And he just offensively, great asset to have. And I cannot imagine this guy not getting an offer. He's a great offensive weapon. If he does not get an offer, I will be very surprised. Moving on to the next player, which is defenseman number 6, Kyle Burke. This dude, he's big. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5". But he has a good defensive body. He doesn't lay the body on really that much, which I think maybe he could improve on that. And he seems a little bit undisciplined too. But he's a huge guy. He definitely has size. I think he profiles, if not a straight-up defensive defenseman, I think he is at the very least a two-way defenseman, because I remember he did score 2 goals in the showcase game. But I think he profiles mainly as a defensive defenseman. He has a lot of size. He has a C on his chest, so obviously maybe there's some leadership there too. Like, he's not like somebody that, aside from his size, he's not somebody that you would pick out and notice, but he's almost always in the position he needs to be, and he's not somebody that like your eyes gravitate towards, but he's consistently like good on that defensive end. He's not flashy, he's not gonna draw your eyes, but he's one of those quietly good players on this team, and I think that says volumes. Next up, for number 13, AJ Berry. AJ, he has a lot of speed. AJ has a lot of speed. Like, number 9, Kaleka, has a lot of speed too. He has a ton of speed. But, like, Barry has a lot of speed. And I think that he profiles, I wouldn't say a sniper or a playmaker, but he's also one of those, probably those hard-working forwards that gets in there and he forechecks. I wouldn't say a power forward because he is undersized as well, but I would say maybe you could make a case for a two-way forward on him. But he's not afraid to get in there and forecheck. He's not afraid to get in there and battle. He's not afraid to get in there and grind. He could be considered a grinder, yeah, that too. But he has a lot of speed, a lot of skill. And I think on the thing it says that his grade point average was like 2.0. It's not bad, not good, not bad. But I digress, I'm sorry. Actually, I think 2.0 is pretty good, isn't it? But I digress again. Barry is a very, very great piece to have if you're looking for a hardworking guy. It speaks volumes about how hardworking this guy is. And he's also very nice. Like, at the end of my first game volunteering, he came over to the penalty box, shook my hand, said, "Thanks for volunteering." Him and I also text on Instagram a couple times, and he was like, "Thanks for volunteering, blah, blah, blah." And him and I, we talk about hockey, and he likes what I'm saying. Like, he likes that I'm blunt. He thinks that the team needs a person like me to, like, just tell it like it is to them. And I think that he really likes me just as a person and as a supporter. And he's just such a great guy. He's very, very thankful to be here. No attitude problems. This dude is just top of the line, great guy. Now let's move over to JT Hosak, who wears number 93. This guy also has a lot of speed. This guy is a zoomer. This guy, like, I don't know where his speed came from, because he's also not a guy that'll jump up out on you for like guys that are flashy. He has a lot of speed. That's about it on the flashy side, but he's pretty hardworking. Doesn't really seem to make that many mistakes with the puck. Doesn't shoot it a whole lot. I've seen him pass it a few times. His passing is pretty good. But I think the speed is the biggest thing about him. He is undersized, don't get me wrong, but he has a lot of speed. And I think that if you can pair something up, or pair him up with a guy that has, like, some sniper ability to him, that duo will be very, very successful. He's also a centerman. Isn't bad in the face-off circle. Isn't winning, like, every single draw, but he's also not terrible. I can't give you face-off statistics about it, but he's not bad in the face-off circle. There's also just, he is, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank on the word, but, like, he's, consistent. Consistent is the word. Yeah. He's very consistent there, too. He's not a guy that'll jump out at you, but consistency is key in hockey, and he has a lot of it. Moving on to the next player, we're going to go over John Wheeler. I think he wears number 27. Dude has, first time I saw him, dude had a lot of flow. His flow is good, but flow's not everything in hockey. Not everything. He seems to be on the bigger side, too. He can throw a decent amount of hits. He can throw the body around with some harder hits, like a bigger hit. And he's just, I guess you could definitely call him a power forward. I haven't really seen him shoot the puck all that often or score, but I think that he's a decent enough player to where you could probably rely on him in a situation like a overtime, and he wouldn't give up a soft goal or something. And yeah, he's a hard worker guy again. A lot of the junior Cyclones guys are hard-working guys. You'll hear me sound like a broken record, but it's true. Especially Atchison. Atchison is probably the leader of the hard-working guys. Like, he leaves it all out there on the ice. But a lot of these guys are hard-working, so it definitely is worth taking a look for yourself at it. But there's more to just being a hard worker in hockey. You have to have attitude. You have to have a bunch of these things go right. And a lot of these guys are also fighting for their fighting for their careers. It's a pay-to-win, not pay-to-win. It's a pay-to-play league. So these guys are giving money to be able to have that chance at the next level and have the eyes at the next level looking on them. and Barnish got an offer. Last year, he was one of the captains for the Junior Cyclones team. But this team is not a bad team. Not a bad team. A lot of hardworking guys. But nobody else really sticks out at me enough to, like, really talk about them. There's also John Ramp, and I forgot about the boys. And what's his name? Blake Mitchell. Blake, probably the best goaltender on this team. Very, very consistent. Very, very good guy. A lot of talent right there with Mitchell. Side-to-side movement's really great. Not too much I can knock him on, other than just he maybe sometimes will leave a rebound just sitting there. And yeah, so that. And then there's Ramp. I really, really like John Ramp. He wears number 35. And he's a really great goaltender. He has the save record for them. I think the number of saves is like he made 79 saves in a game. And that's a lot of saves. And it was against Metro. There was a lot of goals, but he held them to only 7 goals. So it was a 7 to, I think it was like a 10-1 or something like that. Because you could almost call it 80. But it was a high ratio of shots to goals. And he stood tall. He was pretty gassed by the end of it, but he kept fighting on, and I like that. I like to see guys that'll fight. Well, yes, literally. Fights are pretty cool because, especially if it's a guy standing up for a guy. Especially if you're standing up for your goaltender. If you're standing up for your goaltender, I will never be mad at you. But guys that are, like, fighting through being tired and that stuff, I like to see that. That's really all I have to say. The Junior Cyclones are full of hardworking guys. If you guys want to have a look for yourself in person of them, please feel free to come down. They'll take you. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.